Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Poducer, the podcast for producers. Today we are joined by Distinct Motive.
Hello, everybody. How are we?
We're good. We're chilling.
Poducer.
I keep doing these questions and I feel bad for all the artists, but I want to know Distinct Motive. What is distinct about your motive?
I don't really. That's a weird question. I've been asked this before, and I probably answer it different every single time. But I guess the motive is to play bass music on really good sound systems. I think that's what it is. To be able to do that and have a good time, I guess. It's pretty distinct, I would say. So.
Yeah. You've been in the game for a bit.
Yeah.
What's current? What did you start out with?
I just make dubstep, man. That's what I classify it as. It's definitely changed a little bit from the stuff I used to make in the beginning years, but I feel like I've kind of honed in on a more kind of like a crossover sound, I would say now. It's definitely, people would say, it's a deep dubstep, but there's definitely some more energy in it than the stuff I would have made before. My approach to producing is seriously just keeping it simple, and I wouldn't say it's because of I can make it simple and everything's gonna have a place to fit. It's more for my lack of knowledge in producing, because I have a lot of friends that make drum and bass and stuff like that, and it's ridiculously technical and there's a lot going on and it's hard to make everything fit. So with less elements, I feel that my production actually sounds pretty good, even though I don't really know what I'm doing still at this age. So that's kind of my approach to music, and I find that with being very simple when I make my songs, kids literally figure out, they know what to expect after the first 4 to 8, 16 bars of a tune, and kids want to have a good time. So I just feel like don't overcomplicate it and just make something that people are gonna like. If it makes me move in the chair, I'm like, sweet, well, we'll run with it. That's basically it.
How long have you been producing, and what did you start with?
This is gonna be funny. People are gonna probably laugh at this, but I started making music in 2011. Started Distinct Motive, would have been 2012. And the original setup that I had in my house was literally headphones, and I had a Subpac, thanks to my man Dwayne. Big up Dwayne.
Oh, the Subpac, where you sit on it and it.
I had in the back because I lived in an apartment at the time and I couldn't really make a lot of noise.
So for people who don't know what the Subpac is, and if it's still around, don't know what model we're on, it's basically something that you sit back on, and instead of generating sound, it gives you the vibrations of the sub notes so you can feel it, because a lot of sub is felt and not necessarily heard.
Yeah, so the Subpac was definitely very, very helpful, because it kind of taught me how to figure out where the kick and the sub were going to sit, which really important elements of the song. But I did that for a long, long time, but I realized that the Subpac is it can kind of go too low, and it can kind of work against you when you're making stuff, because I was making stuff that was just too low.
Because you wanted to feel, you were you want to feel your balls tingle.
It would go higher up in your back, and then as the notes got lower, you would feel it kind of lower in the pack. I don't know if it still does that with the newer ones. I had the S1, which was I think one of the first ones. It was cool.
So what I'm gathering is you were just playing low ass sub notes to just feel that shit. You're just you walk in on you and you're just what are you doing?
I was I have a niece and a nephew, and they would come over, and I'd be like, "Hey guys, sit in the chair," and I'd just play sub notes, and they'd be yeah, shaking in it. So I always thought that was kind of cool. But going back to the setup, when I actually got monitors, my friend Dwayne, again, who helped me out in the beginning, he actually sold me a KRK6, and a large amount of my music I literally made on one KRK6. I didn't have two monitors. I couldn't afford it at the time. So I had one tunes 40 hertz, F class, 4/4 mode, like all those beginning dubstep tunes for Distinct Motive were made on one speaker. So yeah, that's people are probably like, whoa, that's crazy.
Something I saw in an interview is that you went to the UK and heard dubstep, you heard like Scream, and I forget who else was mentioned, but a lot of the dubstep classic artists, that is. What was that trip like? Why were you out there?
It wasn't actually a trip. I actually lived there for about 5 years. So I'd moved over there with a girlfriend at the time, and it was like 2004 or 5, I think it was, and that's when like dubstep was like, it was happening. That's when things were starting there. The first dubstep show I went to was in 2000. I think it was end of 06 or beginning of 07, and I saw Caspa. I saw Rusko. I think it was Caspa and Rusko was the first show I saw, and then I saw Koki, Scream, and Benga at another show. It wasn't like the same. I always get those kind of mixed up, but same venue. It was Custard Factory, which is in Birmingham. Shout out Custard Factory. And like 75 people in a room, really big sound system, and like just being there with like 2 cans of Stella Artois in my hand and being like, oh, I get this now. Like, I get it. So when I moved back and like ended 2009, I just wanted to like tell everybody about it.
This is kind of a selfish question. I'm going to the UK soon. What are like you gotta go to this club? Is it Fabric? Is there a sleeper that you gotta go? Is it changed?
I mean, I didn't really go to too many clubs throughout. Fabric I did go to. It's definitely sick. I would suggest going there. If you can get an opportunity to go anywhere where Sinai Sound, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but shout out Hugh. He's got an amazing sound system. He does sound all over the UK. I would highly suggest going to see him and his sound system do what it does, because it's friggin' insane. Other clubs, like Custard Factory at the time was in Birmingham. I saw most of my dubstep and like drum and bass stuff that I saw was like literally in that club because it was close to me. I didn't really travel too much to go to clubs, but Bristol is definitely popping. I don't really know what clubs would be the ones to go to now. Last time I was there, I played, it was the Blue Mountain Club, and I don't even think that's there anymore. And it was on, whose sound was that? Strictly Firmly Rooted Sound, sorry. That was a big one. But yeah, there's a basically go to Bristol, you'll find a night for sure.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. Is the Stella Artois the drink of choice of the Brits?
It was just sometimes of those late night clubs, it's like, we have this beer and that's all you can buy. So you're just like, okay. It's either like Beck's. It's like when you would go to Outlook, they'd have like Beck's. And you're just like, I guess I'm drinking Beck's because that's all they have. So
do British people get into that? Like we do with our IPAs and all of that stuff, or is that not so much of that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, there's alcohol is definitely, in British culture. There's a lot of, stouts and like the old man, like gooseneck beers, like I don't know, like Hobgoblin and like all these crazy ales and stuff that they'd have there. But I don't really know too much about that stuff because like I would drink like literally like
the cheap beer.
I would drink whatever was cheap, like a pint of Carling. It was like £1.90 or something. I don't even know what it is, or £2 something now, probably £3 a pint now. But I just drink whatever is cheap. And like back home, like now that I'm home, I literally don't care about like the IPA and like the really like flavorful beers, because like that stuff just tastes like gym socks to me. I just can't handle it. It's not. Ugh.
I get it.
But to be honest, if it's at home, I'd drink Coors Light, Coors Banquet. If I can drink like 10 of them, sweet. Everyone knows me as like the Coors guy because like I pushed that all over the internet when I was doing it on Twitch. But yeah, I drink a lot of White Claws too. So people are probably like, "You're off brand, bro." But it's just one of those.
It's just something I ask about because people get kind of tribal about like what beers they're choosing, Bud Light or like whatever. But Anyway, whatever. This isn't the podcast for beers. You know, but it could be. Yeah. One thing, you know, you've been around a lot of places. I've also learned you lived in Detroit, right? Or you didn't? Okay. We're going to cut that out.
The reason I have a connection with Detroit is like when I started Distinct Motive, there used to be my friend Josh, who was from Detroit. It used to be a duo back in the day. And we haven't worked together in quite some time, but obviously, you know, shout out Josh, miss you, buddy. We still chat, but he's doing his own thing. But he was from Detroit, so we would always go up to Detroit and hang out and play shows together, like at the beginning of it. So shout out Calico and Andrew at That's What's Up for hooking up the shows at the Works, because that was a very legendary venue that we got to play. So a lot of dubstep went through that little grimy venue.
Were there any other aliases that people might not be aware of before?
There was I'll just throw this out there. I used to go by the name DJ Snapback. I know. So I don't know why I named it that. I used to play basically just like dubstep on like a controller with virtual DJ at a local bar in my city to basically my wife. Every Friday for about 2 years, I did a thing called Bass Face Fridays, and I would just like try to promote dubstep in my hometown. Nobody ever showed up, but I still did it and I had fun.
You got to cut your teeth somewhere.
You do, and I think it's very important to learn how to play to nobody, because if you can't play to nobody, you're not going to be able to play to people. But when you do get to play to people, though, you got to learn to keep them in the room. That's the other hard part.
What is like the future for Distinct Motive in terms of sound? Have you been someone who's kind of ADD in the sense that you hop around, or do you have anything that you've been thinking about?
I just want to keep like my kind of style, just what I enjoy and what I've been pushing for the last, 10, 11 years, and just kind of stay in that kind of area, but, maybe work with like more, try to work more collabs, maybe work with more like vocalists and stuff. That's something I've just never really done. Shout out Taylor Renee. I've got a couple songs that I did a remix of an LS Dream tune called Follow the Vibe that she was a vocalist on, and she smashed it. And then I actually have a tune with her called Angels that I've been playing as like a dub out at shows, and people actually really like that because it's more of like a chiller version of like a Distinct Motive tune, I guess, but like female vocalist, kind of a roller dubstep tune. To be honest, I'm very new to the whole like working with an MC or a vocalist on a tune, because I'm like, so you're just gonna like make up some shit and just send it to me, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I guess I'll put it into this beat, and like literally that's how it happened. And like Taylor sent me the last stems, and I literally finished the tune within, I don't know, an hour and a half. And it just like, things just like come together quickly, and you're like, sick, like this is dope. And then I got to play it out. But I think a vocal can definitely make a tune better, right? Especially if you're listening to like dubstep music, it's super repetitive. It's very, people can kind of get lost in the tune and dance away to it. But having a vocal in there can definitely liven things up.
Makes things memorable, makes something for something tangible, right? Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk about in the future, and I don't know when this is going to come out, but like, is there anything out there that people should be looking out for that you're going to be putting out that, shows maybe?
I can't, there's
what can you say?
I can't really say a lot of the stuff because, the stuff isn't out there, but there's definitely a lot of music coming up. I can say that I'll have more music coming out on labels like Deadbeats. I'll have more music coming out on labels like Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. As far as shows and things are concerned, playing some really cool festivals. A lot of people are just figuring out who I am because of like my Mellow Man tune. I'm in a lot of people's ears right now. They know the tune, so I'm getting the opportunity to play these different markets and stuff like that.
What does it feel like now to have like a track like that really go well and like just for more eyes to be on you? Like, where do you feel like you are in your trajectory right now?
Definitely been absolutely insane the response that I've gotten, from tunes like Mellow Man. I've definitely had moments where tunes like 40 Hertz popped off, and it put me in the map in certain areas. Songs like Cessna Rhythm, songs like King, shout out Jay Sparrow, shout out Navy Cut. They like those tunes were, definitely, a part of the building blocks of getting to what I think Mellow Man is too. But Mellow Man is definitely like, it's like a borderline like rhythm tune, and people really connect with it. And I just made it because I was just having fun in the studio, and it's not up to me to decide if the song's going to be good or not. It's up to you just put it out there and let people listen to it. But as far as like the trajectory or whatever it is, I feel like I've been on my own path for so long. It's nice to be able to have these opportunities. I'm super like thankful. And like I do this full time now. Like I was working a job literally up to June of last year. So like the whole time working a full-time job, and just like weekend worrying it. So I'm just thankful to be here is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no,
It's crazy.
it's dope. Like when you can get to a point where you're just like, I'm just doing this, you know?
I'm doing dubstep, bro, and I fucking love it, man. It's awesome.
Congrats, man. That's dope. We'll end with a little fun question, which I sometimes ask at the start. I always ask it on the long form, which is, what was your first concert that you attended?
Oh, I definitely know this, and you guys are not going to know who these artists are because they were Canadian artists. I was probably 11 or 12. It was Friendship Festival, Fort Erie, Ontario. I saw this band called The Tea Party, and they were kind of like an alternative rock band back in the 90s. And then I saw a female vocalist in her band, Estero, and she was actually a vocalist in a couple of tunes with the Black Eyed Peas, which was like before they like really blew up. But yeah, shout out Estero. She has some really cool tunes. I'd actually like to do a tune with her. That'd be crazy. But yeah, and then Tea Party was just like, I don't know. I guess they could be like a version of like a Creed or something. You know what I mean?
I love Creed.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I was really really young. But yeah.
We can also do the latter part of that question, which is most impactful favorite concert you've ever been to.
I seriously raves. It's going to be a rave thing. It would be seeing the Valve sound system in the UK and seeing Dillinger play on that. That was like, okay, sound system. I was like, I get this. Yeah. I'm sat there and my nose hairs are tingling, and it's just like I'm just getting beaten up by the bass. I was like, yeah, I want to do this again. That was some life-changing shit.
It wasn't the Caspa or Rusco, so we got another little nugget there.
That got me hooked on the dubstep thing and the bass thing, but like Valve sound system, I'd never been in front of a sound system like that before, and I was like, okay, like because I guess like everybody when they're kind of growing up, they always have their friend that has like, like their subwoofers in their like car or something, and you're like, whoa, the bass is crazy in their car, but like being in front of like a proper sound system, like it clicked, man.
Now that you're in the United States, are you missing Tim Hortons?
Well, I got a thing with Tim Hortons. I go there, maybe once or twice a week. I don't drink coffee. People normally go there for coffee, like before they're going to work or something like that. I always go there and I get like an everything bagel toasted with cream cheese. They rarely cut the bagel these days. They just don't know how to cut a bagel in half. So I'm like driving around the truck and I got this whole ass bagel. I'm just eating a whole ass bagel. Like I like to have like that nice chunk. Just cut in with all the cream cheese and then you eat it that way. But sort it out, Tim Hortons. Use a knife.
They don't cut the bagel, dude. They have
some of the I don't know, like some of them do, some of them don't. I will give them that. It just depends on the franchisee, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy enough. They have these things where you just put the bagel in and you just push down on it. But
they cut the bagel, right? But like they don't like they put the cream cheese on one side and the other side. But when they put it together, they don't cut the bagel once it's been. You know what I'm saying? So you get like the two halves.
What are they doing? I've been to Tim Hortons. They have it in Michigan, which it's like close enough.
It's a different brand though, because they call it like Tim Hortons Bake Shop. And I think like Tim Hortons in Canada now is like, they fucking do everything. Like you can get all types of food there. And it's like, what it used to be when I was a kid was way better. Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes. You know, you got like...
It's the, you know, the story that it happens to everything.
It happens to all the franchises. You know, McDonald's was once a quality burger, Wendy's, you know, but now it's like plastic. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
I eat McDonald's all the time. If they want to sponsor me, hit me up.
Yo, McDonald's is yo. That's a big sponsor, dude.
Dude, double cheeseburgers all day long, baby. Let's get it.
Yeah. Well, also being a road warrior, you kind of have to get whatever's open. And McDonald's, those golden arches, they're always open.
They're always open. Yeah. I feel like we should be getting some money for this segment here.
Yeah, no, we're going to stop. We're going to bleep everything here. No. All right, guys. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.